Welcome to Wraparound the World. In this podcast, we're diving deep into the transformative power of wraparound services, discovering how communities are coming together to provide holistic care and support for individuals and families in need.
From inspiring stories to expert insights, we'll explore the importance of wraparound in building stronger, more resilient communities. Tune in now to learn how you can make a difference. So sit back, relax, and get ready to be inspired as we unravel the stories and insights that make wraparound a truly transformative force.
So, Tracy, we've been talking about doing a podcast for... it's been long enough, yes?
Quite some. I think the spirit of doing a podcast we've talked about for quite some time.
Right. Interviewing, getting John Vandenberg in the room.
Yeah. Even the things that you've done with heroes and other things, right? Getting the little snippets, and
right.
I think that evolution of that is what would be
the learning has changed.
Podcast, and not just learning, but the platforms in which people are accessing it as well. Right.
We did an interview. We went across the whole state of California interviewing all wraparound leaderships. And we asked them, it was just before COVID, and we were doing like just a connection, like what do you need in order to push the pin? And what they say, staff turnover, retention, culture building, right? And this was before COVID, right? So who knows? Anyways, so we dug a little deeper about why people are leaving their jobs. And it was all the things you think of, right? Pay, my relationship, my supervisor, but the third one was what was most interesting. They said, we need to feel connected to a larger community. When I'm out here fighting fires, being, if you will, doing, change agent work by myself, but I don't feel connected to the broader community, my flame diminishes easily, and it's easier for me to leave.
And I can see that. Even in different programs, sometimes our rap folks might be isolated because they're working in systems, but how many practitioners of rap are there, right? That are doing the work.
Right.
So
they're around the world.
Right. So, being able to just have something that people can tap into, to just talk about or see, I think is really, will be a good idea, be a good thing to do. And that's what some of the essence that I want to capture and do.
So, while you were talking, I thought about how there are pockets and instruments and tools and techniques and videos and all those things that are out there, but the staff don't have time. The agencies don't have the resources. So we have an opportunity, because we are an educational partnership with different communities, to put these people on platform, to put these tools, these ideas on platform. I'm thinking about, you mentioned San Diego's work, right? And so that community-based wraparound, run by community members, not even touching professional anymore.
Right.
When we share that with people, they're like, "What? How does that even exist?"
Right.
What?
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
So wraparound can exist outside of formal systems. Open table.
Open table. Yeah. I remember when I first heard the concept of open table, and I just thought, yeah, absolutely. And as it continued to grow, and then John got involved and helping, I just thought, what an amazing idea. Again, hearing it from going from conference and those thoughts to actualizing it, and having been part of several, kind of starting up community tables, it's been just a miracle, but just amazing.
I like this idea of miracle, because what we're trying to do is reach people that are outside of formal systems, which are engaging and mobilized in natural supports like the church. So, for example, they don't get to go to formal training on wraparound.
Right.
And a lot of communities we work with, they have these extensively well-trained staff, right, rap staff. But then they have these rap team members outside of the professionals that are champions for children that aren't trained. So with our podcast, we could essentially be supporting the body of knowledge beyond the institutions.
And we know that in many programs, those community supports or natural supports can be so challenging for people to become connected to in a formal sense. So, it's like, let's do that. Let's try to have that be connected or be a connection for that.
Yeah.
So I definitely like that.
So there's pockets, there's tools, there's people, there's a broader body of knowledge and community that we're trying to create. How long you been doing this for?
Well, I mean, I when it's almost a loaded question for me, right?
Come
Because
on, tell them
as
why.
a
When did it start? How did it start? When you
well,
before you were born? After? Come on now, where are you
well,
going?
back when dinosaurs roamed the earth,
Yes.
um, we had some challenges.
Bright idea.
Ah,
Go.
ah, within my family, and uh, when it happened, as people that were professionals and working in the field, um, it didn't feel good when those things were happening, kind of to you, and it was kind of a shift and a change. And so, um, I thought, well, I should do this work every day. But I had never had the experience of being, a person that used services or receiving or been on the receiving end of any of that, and so it felt really different, and it just started something for me. And so as that continued, being a caregiver, um, having to kind of put things together and do things, which I didn't know at the time was wraparound.
Right.
What
Right.
ended up being
Right.
what I know to be
Because
wraparound.
it was beginning. There
Yeah,
wasn't a thing called wraparound. It was what's the word? I want to
it
say like
what was in its
it was
evolution.
grassroots. It was growing.
Right. Yeah. And so when I came to know what formal wraparound was, I thought
Define.
defined for me,
Define.
defined for me. Um, I just fell in love with it. I thought this is what I've wanted. Like, this is what I've
That's
wanted
what you
to do.
signed up for.
This is what I've been doing, and I want to do more. And when this is, if we can formalize this some way, I'm on board for it. And the programs that I started working with, initially weren't in my own home community. I traveled almost 2 hours a day every day to work, and then to do
Yeah.
and develop and start programs. So it's just been, I mean, I can honestly say life changing for me, and for my family, and I'm really grateful for what the spirit and the philosophy of what wraparound has done
What were those
for me.
aha moments that you felt the top of your peak where you were like, wow, this wraparound thing really is where I...
I think when you see the all the things happening, so the community involvement, when you see people getting on board, helping people in business community or
doing something a
formal
little different.
systems, kind of coming together because they are united around, championing a family. And this isn't someone that had a newscast and that had all these things. It was just a regular person that
Right.
needed help.
Right.
And
Sweet Alice.
yes, exactly. Oh, that's my nana's name. Yeah, and I always think of that. That is, to me, I thought this is the pinnacle of what it's supposed to be, and I just love that. I loved it.
Standing on that,
It
man.
was
Watching,
amazing.
I was thinking about being on stage in California at that conference,
Mm,
and
mm,
1,000 people in the room, all
mm.
system, not system, all community members. Let's
Yeah,
call them that.
yeah, yeah.
And this youth got up on stage and shared his story, and the mother was there crying, champion story about his son, right?
Wait, the one that I was
The
at
one
with
you were
you?
at.
Oh, that blew my mind, right?
Yeah.
Because it was the first time that I was at
T-
that I'd gone to
right.
California, and seeing this young lady talk about how it shifted and changed the life for his son. Again, the greatest part about that for me, and the one that almost made me hit the floor, was when she said that
Come on.
her son's wraparound facilitator, um, was a community mentor, and I thought, that's very cool, and it was very touching. And I was sitting at the table with me, people from there was nurses from schools, there was people in juvenile justice, there was
Hmm.
child welfare folks, there was mental health folks,
Peers.
right? There were some peers, but I'm saying literally at my table.
Yes.
And so we were all listening to this profound story be told. And when they introduced the gentleman, and that the community mentor was his juvenile probation officer, forget it, forget it,
Suited in his,
forget it.
looking like, all right,
I,
looking like,
I,
not looking like a mentor, but then you saw the connection.
I, it, I don't know. It was
I've got it.
unbelievable.
I've got it on
It was
video.
unbelievable.
I've got it on
It
video.
was
We've got the
unbelievable.
well. You know what? We have the moment where one of the officers that worked with that youth and that
Yeah.
family talks directly to the kid and to the family.
This is why I got in this business 25 years ago. Myself, you hope that everyone that comes into this brand of the community is in it for the right reasons and is compassionate and understanding and patient and all the things that you pointed out. Your stories are very inspirational. I'm sure a lot of folks in this room have backgrounds as well. And really, those backgrounds are what makes us who we are today, right? And so you're all very, very strong for coming up here. Jeffrey specifically, I can specifically speak on Jeffrey's behalf in that he has come a very, very long way in a relatively short period of time, within a few year period of time. And I'll tell you where he was and where he's been and where he's going. And of course, we have a couple of workshops today, and we'll get into that quite a bit more. But I just want to say thank you to you all for being up here. I know it's not easy speaking in front of a lot of people. In fact, that's why I'm facing this way and not that way. Right? And but anyway, great job. Thanks for being here.
Yeah, that was so. I had never even. I mean, we obviously work with
You're gonna make me
juvenile
cry right
justice.
now thinking
No,
about
I'm
it.
telling you, it was working with juvenile justice and working with all the other different systems and bringing them together.
Right.
But to have a juvenile justice person, be the champion and formalizing and doing it all, I'd never seen that.
I'll tell
Really.
you,
I had
just to keep it real, probation, juvenile justice, California, they are rap champs. It is their intervention.
This is what I knew.
We're
and
talking
I
about
was,
California Youth Authority closing down. We're talking about major shifts. Not to say they're getting it right. We'll have bumps
Well,
along the road,
but
but intervention
to be
is
the
engagement, wraparound.
and again from that his,
Come on.
well, I mean historically in my experience, you know, many folks have been really kind of towing the line, but really working to help rehabilitate
Yes.
kids, but in a way
Yes.
that systems had designed.
Yes.
And systems had designed it to be this way. And so to see people really reinventing, if you will, the way, that it could be.
Yes.
I'd been on teams where people, we have those are folks and they're doing those things, but it was outside of, kind of the
Yes.
system
In the
or
community.
right. So to have him say my community mentor was this probation officer, just even using that term,
Right.
it's a strength-based term,
Right.
it blew me away. I was,
Well-
I almost couldn't breathe when I was there, and I remember calling back to my team and and the administrative team, and I was like, "You're not going to believe what I'm telling you right now. You're not going to sit down. You're not going to believe what I'm telling you." Yeah.
Well, to keep it real with you, a former gang member is now the chief. No, what is he? He's the gang commissioner of San Diego County. I'm just saying. Yeah, that's some powerful stuff. I was thinking, you made me think about something else that I want to cover, which is there's this history that keeps kind of replaying and rebirths itself into the same thought process. So I'm thinking back to some of the wraparound pioneers and roots, early grassroots, the Carolina, Lenore Bahar. I'm thinking about the deinstitutionalization of children, getting them back in our community. These stories, not everyone understands that. The people have been doing wraparound for 10 years and don't know the origins, don't know the history, don't know that there are lessons that have been learned, and if we just kind of connect the storyline, not to say we have it all, but if we get the right people in here, we might be able to connect the dots.
Yeah.
And learn lessons that we've learned previously, right? And build upon them now instead of doing the same circle.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And they're across the states, we're all in different developmental stages, right?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Dealing with different things. Yeah.
Well, I mean, as you talk about history and some of our, the founding fathers of wraparound as we know it,
Grandmothers.
grandmothers, grandfathers, all the folks that really kind of set the tone and created this stuff for us. I remember when we initiated those national wraparound conferences, and they many of them came, to our community, and I started to m- meet and interact and sit with you know all these people that I'd read about and kind of learned about, and I was like, this is really happening. I was,
Yeah.
and I remember the very first time I met you know John Vandenberg, and I was like, I'm not gonna, don't freak out, don't do it,
Right.
don't be that guy.
When you mean like
Everyone,
when I asked Pat Miles to take a picture of me, she looked at me like this.
oh, Pat Miles. And I
When I'm over
love,
here like,
I
yes,
love
I
Pat
love
Miles.
this lady.
She just scared me. She just scared me so
Well, because
much.
she is about
I
change.
know and unapologetically about
Let's
change,
go. We're here right now.
unapologetically about change, and I love that. And just seeing her work and do those, doing the, I
Jeffrey.
mean, all of them,
All of them.
right?
Yeah.
Was just so amazing. And again, it just kind of fired me up.
I'm envious. I wasn't there.
Well, I mean, it's yeah. I mean, I loved it. I was grateful for it and appreciative of. And that's the stuff that you learn and you just stays with you. And
Unless you share it on a podcast with
well,
everybody
that's
else.
true. That's true. And then too, being a person that's done this for so long, um, I'm now having people, you know, look at me and say those things, and in a way that was shocking to me. We were at the FCC conference this week, and a few of the folks that I remember working with before, like, I can't believe it's you, things
No
that have
way.
happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, that's really kind, and I'm so excited. And I always talk about the experience that I had
Right.
with you.
We're sharing this
Yeah,
across the world.
yeah. Um, because it stayed with me as well,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
And we were talking about some things. So I just love that there is a place that we can, maybe kind of connect here and be some of that
I'm
connection.
trying to get those folks on our podcast so
I
they can tell me
Everybody that I
stories about
asked,
you.
oh yeah, they
Do they
not
know
for
about the yellow socks or they know about the
they
other
all of
hotel?
them know, all of them know. The actually one of the young ladies from Miami, she was just saying how I first got introduced to they call it's cafe con leche, but what's the term? But it's like
Yes.
Cuban coffee. I hope I'm not
Yes.
being insensitive or
Yes.
yeah. And it was we when I was doing that work there, and so she told that story to the table when we were waiting in your workshop, and I was like, don't tell that story. I don't want everybody to know that story,
I want to know the
but I
story.
could.
Tell them the story.
No, no, no. It was
Tell
just
them the
that I
story.
just
Tell them the
I
story.
like it a lot, but I didn't realize how much you know caffeine or sugar was in it. So you could always tell after I'd gotten some, but I would drink it all during the day, and so
Yep.
I was just like running around like a yeah,
Yeah, you were
yeah,
getting
yeah,
work
yeah, yeah,
done.
all worked up, and yeah, it was just really funny. But you had to have it every day. They brought it every day, and
That's wonderful.
every time I go down, they always get it for me. So
I love that. The culture of wraparound. So
yeah,
let's talk about that
yeah,
for a minute.
okay,
Wraparound's not just something you do as a job. But once you immerse yourself into
right,
this,
right.
there's no going back. And you become,
For better or worse,
for
or
better.
for with friends or family or whatever it is,
Yeah.
you always see it.
Yeah.
It's always there,
Yeah.
right? And I remember initially when I started doing it, and I would be around, you know, people, and here he comes, and I would get, I would feel some kind of way about it initially,
Yeah.
but then people say, no, that's really a term of endearment because we know that we're about to get some good creative solutions, and
Right.
we didn't realize that maybe we were at a at some crossroads and not looking at it, and we and you would start, and there you are. And I'm like, well, so I learned to understand that it was more of a term, but again, it's like you're saying, once you become immersed in it, in that culture, it becomes about kind of who you are,
Change agent.
and innately, when doing programs, or when interviewing people, or in trainings, or just any kind of community interactions, or any of those things, you can see that in kind of in people, and some of those soft skills,
Mm-hmm.
right? One
Mm-hmm.
might say,
Mm-hmm.
um, where you can really help kind of choose those folks that believe can really do
I remember
work.
earlier in a training. Actually, I think it was JV was there. John Vandenberg.
See, I still call him
I don't know.
I call him Mr. Vander.
He's
No, I call him John. Even
yeah.
but I don't call
Speaking
him
of which, I owe him a
JV.
phone call.
Speaking of which, I don't call him JV.
I don't know.
I'm not
I don't know
there.
if he calls himself JV. I call anyways. Anyways, I think
I'm sorry.
you're fired.
Don't fire me again today.
Was I bringing? Oh, John Vandenberg. We were at original like training for trainers back in San Diego, early pilot back in the early, well, I guess like 2008 or so. Anyways, and he said we were talking about how do you train and cultivate good wraparound people and people that can do the job
Mhm,
because this is
mhm.
different. It's not
Yeah,
right.
right,
Um,
absolutely.
And so I loved his answer. It was like you hire the right people. Duh. Right, and he talked about like hiring people. He talked about don't do one-on-one interviews. He talked about sending people vignettes ahead of time and seeing if you can see their character and their values that match
Yeah,
ours.
yeah,
Pre-screen them.
yeah.
And then he said put them in a room together and put them on a team project and see who teams, see who facilitates, see who supported, right? All these are, and it was like, wow, you're really like changing the game. It's not about this like developmental curve because in some ways I'd say it's like in you. It can be developed, but it's you got to have that like spirit. That described as a wraparound spirit, right? Phase activities, wraparound spirit. But I remember, and I think that that is true that you wraparound staff, at least the ones that stay for the long longevity, right? Um, End up being these like superheroes, relentless.
Yeah,
They know multiple
yeah.
systems. They may have had a few jobs.
Sure,
And they learned a lot here, there, and
sure,
now they're like, boom.
sure, sure.
Well, I think we might have a little bit of an intro for our first podcast. What do you think?
Yeah, I like it.